I'm Jesus of Nazareth.
Well, apparently something good can come from Nazareth. What?
Rabbi Jason, I went to Israel with you last year where we visited some of the sites. It was my first time, and you did an amazing job of giving me some of the historical and biblical context to this. But was there anything that you thought, that's a little bit more Jewish friendly than some traditional Jesus projects?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's overall about the series. It's something that I really appreciate. I mean, obviously, there's been, we tend to want to make Jesus in our own image and likeness, right? And so historically, there's been a lot of blonde-haired, blue-eyed, kind of westernized Jesuses and disciples. Right. And I love the fact that there's a very ethnic feel to the disciples, and they have accents, and it's you know, when you look at their complexion, or you look at it now, Peter is actually played by an Israeli. Right. So I mean, I love that component of looking at the characters in the story, which I think is great. And I love just even trying to capture some of the authenticity of the Jewish culture, which in further episodes get into, which I really appreciate and value about it. And I also just love in general the fact that really so many series about the life of Jesus focus on Jesus. And I love the fact that this focus on people's encounters with him and how their lives are changed and transformed as a result of it. And I think that's so significant because I often think we get this divine Jesus, but you know, there's a humanity to him, and part of that humanity is he's the son of David, and there's a Jewishness in that humanity, which I love.
Now, before I get to Dr. Huffman, I'm going to do a quick commercial break and give you some appreciation for the fact that you're even calling him Jesus. Because I know that you guys don't call him Jesus, you refer to him as Yeshua. And so you're, as Paul said, being all things to all men or whatever, as you're sitting at this table. I want us to talk about that just for a minute, of why it's either okay or not okay to do what we did. My interpretation is, and we said this at the beginning of the episode, we gave this disclaimer that talked about, we use the term English transliteration, which means that these characters all spoke English. The English language did not exist back then. There are certain letters that did not exist. From what I understand, the letter J, the J sound, is not a Hebrew sound, correct?
No.
Yeah, so, but my thought was, listen, we can either go all the way and just have them speak Hebrew, or we can go all the way in here and have them speak English and just recognize that this is essentially an impression, or like even some of the phrases they use weren't necessarily invented until later centuries. But we're saying they might not have had the phrase "sticking up for the little guy" back 2,000 years ago, but they had a phrase like that, and so we're going to interpret, kind of put it into a more modern context. But I know that it couldn't have been natural for you to call him Jesus and to see him called Jesus. Is it okay? Are we forgiven? Because my thought is, if we call him Yeshua, then all the other character names have to be changed too. And I just thought, let's just go with the English, and in different cultures, it'll be subtitled. But maybe I'm asking for forgiveness or permission. How bad is it?
Yeah, look, on the one, I mean, I like that overall you're trying to bring the authenticity of the Jewishness of the culture, which is already a significant step in the right direction
So you'll
that
take what
we
you can
don't
get.
see in other things. I mean, obviously his name was Yeshua, which is a shortened form of Joshua, and there's significance to why that was his name. But we also have to understand that the New Testament primarily comes down to us in the language of Greek, because it was a common language, or it might have been Hebrew Gospel of Matthew, according to some of the early church history. But it does come down to us Greek, because that was the common language of the day, and the message was for the message. And so I think that since this is a message for the masses, a show to the masses, I think it does that for that reason.
Well, what I've said to people is, same man, same meaning, same Messiah.
Simon, it's him.
No time for this, Andrew.
It's him. Simon, it's the man. John said he's here right now.